Globies, welcome back. We are one day late to recording things, and it is blowing our whole world up. Our whole world is just upside down like Australia.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But why are we recording on a Sunday, Griff?
Well, Murray, just so happens that we are pretty fucking cool dudes. You know,
wild and crazy guys, if you will.
Right. We're not like some of these people out here who, you know, have to go to the internet for all their friends. We have friends across the internet. We have friends IRL, as the kids like to say. I don't think the kids are saying that.
The kids who
anymore.
got Riz, though.
The kids with Riz. That's my favorite character from Happy Days, Riz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other nephew of Fonz.
Right.
Chachi and Riz.
Chachi and Riz.
Yeah.
But it just so happens that our good pal, you know him, you love him. He's been on our show multiple times.
You could say he's rad.
You could say he's rad. Our good buddy Sean, he was having his son's second birthday party. We, of course, guests of honor.
Our buddy Sean Pigeon's little squab.
Yep.
That's what a baby pigeon's called.
We recorded a cop and a feel with him. The son, he is not of age to really talk yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to speak.
They got him a horn, though, so we just honked the horn a few times.
It's like Captain Pike in the old Star Trek episode.
Yes, it's
where
just the
we're
beeping.
super advanced computer society, yet
Binary.
he has a light that goes yes and one that means no. Yeah.
It's incredible how they work. How is that episode?
I guess Elon's brain shit didn't work.
Grok. Yeah. That episode is surprisingly super good, though. I remember the last time I watched it, I really enjoyed it.
But yeah, we're wild and crazy guys. We partied down with a 2-year-old. One problem I had. First of all, it's lovely to see all our friends.
Right.
Our good friend, Mr. Mintz. All of our friends that you've heard on the show were there.
Sorry we didn't get to say hi to everybody.
We are superstars. We were signing a lot of autographs, signing a lot of breasts.
I wasn't expecting there to be a booth there. And I wasn't expecting the fucking tit holster thing straight out of heavy metal.
I don't want to touch him. But, yeah, well... He's got to recoup his finances. I mean, Pigeon's always thinking about the money.
You're
know?
right.
Kids are expensive.
That chicken feast that was spread across a Polynesian woman was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a nice thing. It's usually an Asian woman, but nice. Maybe that's the future. Polynesian women eating off of them. They're a lot bigger.
Yeah, mixed it up a little bit.
What we're saying, so
we're signing tits.
Yeah, we're just being the rock stars that we are.
Right.
And so it was nice seeing everybody. We rarely get to band together. And I got to say, sometimes we see like a movie and it's a very motley crew of people, and you're like, no way those people would hang together.
Yeah.
If you saw our group of friends together, there's no way you would think we're friends.
Except the ones who were coordinating shirts.
Yes.
There was some shirt coordination.
They're dads. There's some dad energy going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're legally not fathers. We don't know. There might be some children out there, Griff, has some of our DNA in them, but we don't acknowledge them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was great. Yeah. It was a great time. Great feast.
Yeah, we got gypped out of cake.
We did.
That was my big. Look, I'm not even a cake guy. I'm a pie guy. But it's tradition. I'm all about tradition. You know that about me. That's why I want to make America great again. But cake. No cake. I mean, there's a lot of sweet treats there.
There was those oatmeal cookie pie thing. Oh, boy.
Yeah, but I don't go to a fucking kid's party unless I'm going to get me some cake.
Right.
No cake. Not even a happy birthday song. And we had...
You're right.
We had rock and roll, 90s rock and roll, alternative rock royalty there.
That's right.
The two-hit... Now, some people just get a one-hit wonder band. We got a two-hit wonder band.
That's right.
The rock band Sponge was there. And I'm not even making that up, baby.
Yeah. If you are a devotee, you've heard us do this story before because he has shown up now to multiple parties because him and Pigeon go back.
Right. Is his name Sponge?
His name is Sponge, actually.
Mr. Sponge.
Is it Eddie?
Eddie Sponge.
Val?
I think his name is Eddie Sponge. But yeah, so that was a good thing. So if we're a little low energy today, blame the fucking 2-year-old.
Blame the 2-year-old.
Not our fault.
God, I mean, we're older, so when you're out there having a good time, and again, it's so bittersweet because it's like we used to see our friends on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And now we see them maybe once a year.
Yeah, that's the only reason Pigeon had a child. So we'd have an excuse to get together at least once a year.
And so it's like
He hates his kid.
I love catching up with all of them, but at the same time, it's exhausting because you're trying to get a year's worth of conversation into a few hours, and it's a lot of laughing and a lot of good times, but it's like, fuck, man, I'm tired now. So on our way back, I got Murray screaming about cakes. Like, he's throwing the car around the road. I'm driving. He's going so mad. Getting so... I was like, do we need to pull over and get you a cake?
It's about tradition. No, I don't want a cake. I want a birthday cake.
That's what he kept saying. Griff, it's tradition. And I was like, oh, my God.
That's why our society is crumbling, Griff. That is why women want to fuck cartoon dogs.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm sorry I have to bring this up, but Bluey made the internet go kablooey this week. We actually got feedback for the first time in our lives. We live in a vacuum. We don't know. We look at the numbers, we assume they can't all be bots. Someone has to be listening to this shit.
Yeah.
Now we know, Griff, because I got a number of reports back about this Bluey thing. I'm happy to say.
Did you have Mike help you with this spreadsheet? It's beautiful.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say the kids are all right because the people that responded were equally disgusted by this.
Okay.
I even got a message from somebody that told me, hey, hashtag not all white women.
Okay.
And I want to believe her.
Okay.
I desperately want to believe that we live in a world where not every white woman wants to have sex with a dog, let alone a cartoon dog.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose to believe that because I need to in order to function.
Right. But it's one of those things. You start seeing it, and then it starts popping up everywhere in the real world.
Well, that's called the G&G effect, Griff.
Yeah.
Every time we put energy out there, it just manifests.
It does, and it lays in your lap, and it's just staring at you like a blue dog, telling you some shit in Australian. But no, all of our sleuths are out there too. Like, we've really hit a vein. Like, it's got people really interested. We might have accidentally stumbled on true crime.
I think we struck a nerve.
We struck a nerve.
I think the dog fucker struck a vein.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So, Murray is like, the evidence is rolling in. Murray's telling me about it all week. I'm trying
analytics, Griff. I usually don't believe in them, but when it comes to this disgusting thing, I'm starting to buy into the analytics.
Yeah. And so I'm just trying to relax this week. I'm trying to watch some nice movies. I'm a big Cronenberg fan. I would never tell somebody if you don't like one of his movies, you're wrong. I just enjoy them. They're interesting to me. So I'm watching this one called Dead Ringer. Yeah. And there's a moment where it's a movie that's basically a play on the Crane brothers, where the one is super gay for the other Crane brother. But they're highfalutin.
You're talking about Frasier?
Yeah, Frasier Crane.
Okay, yeah.
Frasier and Niles. So that's kind of the gist I got from the movie. And I thought it was fascinating.
Jeremy Irons playing identical twins.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. But there's a scene where the one guy's cracked and they're gynecologists. Yeah. So he's got a woman's legs spread wide open. And he's like,
been there, yeah.
What the fuck is going on down here? Have you been fucking letting dogs fuck you?
Is there a telltale? I want to know because if next time I'm staring down the barrel of a pussy, I want to know if it's been fucked by a dog before me because my dick ain't going nowhere near that pussy.
I think this is going to be like...
What is it? Did they tell you what the tell is?
Well, you get to see the instruments he uses to measure it later. And oh, man.
Oh, my God. If I got to do meters and... I'm out. I can't do metric system. I just can't figure it out.
No, you'll never be able to figure it out.
Dilation. I don't know.
No. I was gonna say it's gonna be like a Rorschach test for you. I can't imagine you're gonna be able to look at one and be like, "Oh my God, dog fucker."
That's why I want to know.
You gotta know. Well, that you gotta buy the course. That's on that. Oh shit! What they have those online courses now that are. I forget what they're called. I'm so sorry, everybody. Another failed joke by Griff. And then, while I was out there watching the great Joel Coleman, who his video should be up on Twitter. I got it set up for Murray.
Yeah, you'll get to feel what it's like to be at a Joe Coleman. Of course, our professional wrestling friend.
Yeah,
Joe Coleman, favorite guest of the show.
Right.
If there's oiled up muscle on the episode, it's Joe Coleman.
That's right. You know what? Here, I'll
This is
give
for Abra, by the way, because she loves hearing stories about the sick, weird world of independent wrestling.
I'll play the audio right now. But people, there's a visual that goes along. I actually got my camera out. I never do this. I never take pictures of anything. My life, when it's over, it's like I was never here, except for the podcast, of course.
And all the dick pics.
And, we can't talk about those, actually. Yeah. Anyways, here, enjoy this rowdy audience for the Joe Coleman. The women just can't help themselves. There's children in the audience. I'm dead serious. I was right in front of a couple of children, a grandma who also was whistling and just hooting and hollering. I
hear somebody told me who's by the way, I'm also happy to hear this. Someone I know was at Chippendale's show.
Yeah.
And she said the women go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
I believe it.
And she also told me she noticed some of the people may have been under 6 feet. So there's still hope for our second career, Griff. If this doesn't work out, we can still fall on our plan B.
No
Chippendale's
shit.
dancer.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I think you're probably right, but
right.
I don't know.
Well, this brings me, we'll go ahead. You got the Joel Coleman. You could go see the visual, but this puts us into a good new topic. Chippendale dancing, the art of nudity and sexuality and sweat and peck jelly, of course. So I was telling you, I was leading you into this before we started recording that, I've been just feeling kind of meh all week.
You don't have any more stories about Joe Coleman and the wrestling show?
Let's do a little bit more about Joe Coleman.
I know Abra is with bated breath wanting to hear.
There is children in this audience and everything. Okay. And we got people yelling out vulgarities. You got the audio you just heard. At one point when Joe and his partner were about to pin their opponents, they like hugged each other, and this one was just like, fuck, they're like brothers. I want to be sandwiched in between. I sent it to Murray. I don't remember exact quote, but I was like, what am I standing in front of? And so I didn't want to turn because there was like one row of people behind me.
Right.
I would have been staring into the soul of the person who just admitted they want to be,
probably the same person that said, I want to suck your dick.
It could have been, but I didn't match the voice to them.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. I don't know names, but I can match voices like the best of them. And so I end up seeing the woman later. She's wearing a high school jacket. She's like a 45-year-old art teacher look to her. She's got short, blonde, like bleach blonde hair, cool, kooky haircut,
Quirky girl, yeah.
Quirky girl. But I was just like, oh, my God, you're like an art teacher, and you're yelling about wanting these sandwiches and, like, all right.
Yeah, people, Joe Coleman's a human being. He's not a piece of meat.
Yeah, you got to take it easy. His mom was there.
What, did she have a seat of honor?
I did not see where she was at. No, I did not. The seat of honor, I was expecting Noah to be up there. Sorry, everybody. There is no new North. No,
he's
Noah.
Still working on the contract. Don't worry. He's getting rid of me. Don't worry about it. He gave me a very fair severance package.
Oh, man. But
you will love Noah, guys. He's much better than me.
We'll move on to acceptable smut now. There's our transition into this. So I'm feeling kind of bummed out. I'm down in Ann Arbor. I'm getting ready to go see True Romance for the first time. Never saw that before.
Okay.
I did have a game with myself. How long before the first N-bomb drops?
Yeah, because Tarantino wrote
the script. It's Tarantino.
He wrote the script. He directed it.
Yeah. Can you? Oh, really? He just wrote it?
I think Tony Scott directed it.
Oh, okay. Can you guess how long it was?
Who did what, Griff?
Tony Scott.
Top Gun.
I was going to say Con Air, so at least I had it in the sky.
Yeah.
Can you guess how long it took?
Carry the one. 5 minutes, 37 seconds.
It was within the first 6 minutes. They cut over to Samuel
I just
Jackson.
said 5 minutes, 37 seconds.
Yeah.
I win.
You win. Yeah, it was within the first 6 minutes.
That's my skill, people.
You're the numbers man. Yeah. You said you like pie. It's actually because of the numbers.
I have a beautiful mind, yes.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. I got down to Ann Arbor kind of late. They're doing the graduation ceremonies. I didn't realize it. So
Where is a fucking Hamas sitting when you need it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to stop and grab a drink before I got there, and bartender doesn't want to actually come down and get my drink order, so I ended up having to leave. I'm fuming. I'm bummed out, and I'm just not feeling good about everything this week. And then I get that delightful email from our good friend Abra. There is going to be a Blue Velvet themed burlesque show.
I was just thinking about that movie the other day.
Yeah. Now I want you to do the thoughts I started going into. What would be the scene out of that movie you want to see done as a burlesque act?
Obviously, Frank Booth. Well, two. Frank Booth hitting the fucking
Yes,
nitrous,
yes.
and Dean Stockwell singing the Roy Orbison song.
I
Candy Colored Clown or whatever it was.
I would be worried that everybody just tried to do that.
Yeah.
I want the Frank Booth. This is actually what I wrote back to Abra. I was like, I want the Frank Booth scene. I want Kyle MacLachlan, like a girl coming out with Kyle MacLachlan's hair, finding a severed ear
There's
on the ground.
plenty of lesbians that have Kyle MacLachlan's haircut.
Oh yeah. There was a few at the show too.
Okay.
So it put my brain in such a good place. So thank you so much.
Song
for
called
that, Abra.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
A song called Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Fuck Heineken!
Oh man. So,
Greatest fucking movie villain. Man, 1986 was a banner year for Dennis Hopper because he was washed up.
Yeah.
Before this, he did in a row. I think they all came out in 86. River's Edge, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
All classic Dennis Hopper characters.
Fucking amazing. The two that I know from that, very different characters too.
Yeah. Hero and a villain.
Yeah, and I think you might have told a story, but he had to call up Lynch, and he's like, "You got to let me play Frank Booth. I'm Frank Booth."
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah, that's
And
what
he did it. He knocked it out of the park.
Oh, it was incredible. So
Speaking of great villains, Griff.
yeah,
Rutger Hauer.
Rutger, motherfucking Hauer.
Yeah, I just felt like, I need to talk about Rutger. We haven't talked about Rutger in a while. I remember this also, we're an action podcast with Stallone. It's very a stretch for Stallone. This is why, if you're wondering why Joe Coleman's not on this episode, Stallone never takes his shirt off in this movie.
That's right.
So there's no reason to have
He
Joe
actually constantly is drenched in a sweater. It's like his Steven Seagal face. Layers on
on.
layers.
This his serious role?
Yeah. Sweater vest. He is wearing a sweater vest.
What do you feel about those glasses, those tinted glasses?
I liked it for him to try to take the edge off him. Because you notice he takes them off when he's trying to look serious, but then when he puts them on, he's trying to be softer. When he talks to Irene, always puts the glasses on.
How about the beard?
It worked because Stallone was trying to do something else. I thought it worked well with his hair. He had a full weird hair situation.
He had a mane of hair.
Darth Vader's helmet was his hairstyle.
Because beards are still kind of popular now. This is how you do a beard, people. Nice and trimmed. It looked good. Fuck these hillbilly beards these fellas are going on with. Trim it up. That's why I do my beard. Trim it up.
Trim it up. Prim and proper.
Exactly.
Pin and proper? What is it?
I don't know. Prim and proper?
Prim and proper.
Yeah, so I'm like, let's just do this. I mean, this movie's not going to blow your socks up. I think it's a very good, solid, old school thriller. It's got that, even though it came out in 81, it's got that gritty 70s New York vibe, which I love so much.
Yeah.
I also love, I don't know why, maybe it's because it's so rare you see these movies. I like movies set in the wintertime that aren't about Christmas.
Good call.
Because you never see that.
Yeah.
And this is like New York, like in January. There's not a lot of snow, but it's New York in January.
I think this is a very important thing to watch if you are a Stallone fan, too. Because when you watch some of his... you get a little bit of it in Rocky. You get a little bit of it in Cobra. And all these movies where he's playing tough guys and everything, Rocky less so, Cobra 100% trying to play the toughest guy ever. But you get to see that bantery charm he has. Think about all the scenes with him and Billy D.
Yeah.
He's always cracking little jokes. They're fucking trying to go through a serious meeting and they're putting pencil,
and
school children.
You could tell it was all improvised.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And that's Stallone. I've seen so many of his other movies where he's always doing these little bits. That's his thing.
And you also know, of course you know, that Rutger Hauer is famous for just throwing shit out there and seeing, like, being in the moment and seeing what the other actors react to.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just do some crazy shit.
Right.
And that's what we love about Rutger Hauer.
He's so good. Like, it's a shame that, we're robbed of him for the first 20 minutes because he has a different face, so it's a different person.
It just means a slightly bigger nose and a beard, basically.
Like
and brown contacts.
The whole fucking thing with Stallone doing the sketch, and he's like, he was ripping through that paper. He was drawing into it so hard.
He was intense.
That was some heavy lead he was working with there.
Was.
And the paper somehow gets stronger every time he unfolds it.
Yeah.
And then the last time, it just suddenly, it's like, all he did was put sharper lines on the nose. He's like, is that guy? Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I'm so sorry, but
yeah, like I said, this movie's not gonna change your life, but it's like a nice, fun little hour, 35-minute movie.
Perfect matinee. Like this is why we need movies like this to be put on TV, in the middle of the afternoon. Because no, you're not gonna be like, holy shit, we're getting amped up. We're gonna watch Nighthawks tonight. It's not that movie, but it's still an enjoyable movie.
Also, an exceptional amount of Golan-Globus theater favorites peppered throughout actors, which we'll point out as we go through the movie.
Yeah, I missed the one.
But,
I saw it the second time I watched.
Yeah,
I was like, that's what you meant.
There's some great character acting going on.
Oh, I did learn more about my Paul Williams album I have there.
What?
And everybody's like, yeah, he phoned it the fuck in for this album. So I listened to a few songs. I was like, okay, he did. One of the songs, though, was on Phantom of the Paradise. The old soul song that the woman sings. It's like the slow ballad, and then I already forgot his name, the Phantom. He like puts the spotlight on her. Melvin? No, that's not it.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
But I can remember Nighthawks. Are we ready to go?
Let's do this.
All right, everybody. We will see you on the other side of the trailer for this classic Stallone Hauer jam, Nighthawks.
Is this trip business or pleasure?
Pleasure, I hope.
Welcome to the United States.
Hamer Reinhardt, sometimes called Wolfgar. Born Frankfurt, Germany, 1946. Educated Paris and Patrice Lumumba University, Moscow. Currently self-employed. Occupation, international terrorist.
You are to be indoctrinated in counter-terrorist techniques.
Deke De Silva, age 35. Born and raised New York City. Honorable discharge, U.S. Army, 1972. 52 registered kills. Occupation, cop. One man can bring the world to its knees. And only one man can stop him. Universal Pictures presents Sylvester Stallone in Nighthawks, coming in April.
Murray, what do we love about a movie?
That it's 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's one thing. Another big thing is when it tells us the timeline. And this movie, right off the bat, December 31st. It's not. You don't even have to worry about being well, it's adjacent, but it's not a Christmas movie. It's already past Christmas.
Christmas is done.
Right.
It's
New York.
New Year's Eve.
They've
Rockin' Eve.
Dude, they've already packed in all the Christmas shit. You couldn't even tell.
Yeah. And I guess everyone's in Times Square because we see our buddy. Well, we see a woman, a nurse, frightening face. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah, is it Robert Zadar hiding under this or something?
I didn't know what was going on. And then we see some street toughs.
Yeah,
and they're like, checking this woman out. She's just got out for shift. She wants to just go home, put her feet up, crack open a Heineken.
Right. She was just finishing up at the ATM. She went to the ghetto to get, some
Was it
money
an
out.
ATM? I didn't know they even had ATMs back then.
It looked like it was an ATM. That's what I took.
All I know is she's walking home, and these three toughs surround her. They go, look, bitch, give me your money. And we see I think we see Billy D like in the background.
Yeah, you see multiple shadowy figures because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
So you don't know who's who, what's what, and that's when he's, the old lady is just like, oh, I'm not going to be able to give you my purse.
Give me your money, bitch.
Hold a second. And then she starts whistling.
Yeah, and then we see this fucking face. We zoom in. It's like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden the face comes off.
Well, the guy comes in to get the purse, and she punches the shit out of him. And I was like, I've seen this uppercut before. I know this uppercut. It's Rocky.
It's the Italian Stallion. So he rips it's not. It's what it is and it isn't. It's Stallone in drag. He's not, because he has a beard in this movie.
Yes.
He's wearing a far frightening fucking mask. It looks like the fucking Devo mask.
Yeah, Boogie Boy.
So I'm like, as a viewer, I can see this. I'm like, what's going on with this fucking scene?
So to give it more context here, wearing a big wig over it, big curly wig, and then had a shawl too, doing everything they could to make it, because the mask is hanging off his face. It's not close. It's not tight. And then
it looks like one of those weird, like, clear plastic face masks that
Yeah.
you see like serial killers in modern movies wearing now.
Yeah.
Like it's frightening.
It's terrifying. So this man should have been terrified of that alone. And then the purse that he tried to snatch was full of frozen Brisk iced teas. So that's Brisk, baby.
Okay.
Well, that's
so he rips off the mask. It's Stallone in his bearded glory. The guys go running immediately. Billy D, his partner, Matthew Fox. First of all, it's not Stallone. It's Deke De Silva.
Deke De Silva.
Love alliteration.
Yep, I love it.
Matthew Fox, which I also believe is the guy from Lost, was named Matthew Fox.
Okay.
The actor's name.
Okay.
But he's just called Fox. Because he's a fox. He's Billy fucking D. Williams, the first of our G&G favorites. Stuck playing. I mean, I got respect for Stallone at least. Last time we saw Billy D, he was partners with fucking Robert Carradine.
Yeah.
That don't fly with me.
He's got a decent role in this too.
So the guy with the purse goes running up the steps to the subway. Fucking Stallone chasing after him in his orthopedic shoes.
Man, dude, he's got the fucking garter, like the old lady,
I think he's got the support hose.
Yeah, support
Yeah.
hose. He's got the
He's
belt.
wearing the old-fashioned, like you only see in pornos and like at Spirit Halloween nurse outfit.
Yes,
you know?
he had the Velcro giant nurse shoes on and everything. Orthopedic. And he's flying up those stairs. So he's walked 5 miles in these shoes. We're going to learn later. This is his bit. This is him and Matt Sting. They have the chance to be captains of the force, but they're like, nope, we're the ones cleaning the streets.
Yeah, they're keeping the streets safe because they're on the decoy operation. So Deke is always the decoy, and Matt backs him off.
That's right.
So he corners the guy out there because there's no train coming.
Right.
Come on, badass. Cut me! Cut me!
Guy pulls a little switchblade out, and so Stallone has like he takes his belt out.
Yeah. Belt to the trench coat.
Yeah. And so he's got that, and he's gonna try to catch the knife and wind
I'll cut
it
you,
up.
man! I'll cut you! I swear, sucker, I'll cut you! Come on! And then he just whips it around the guy's throat, starts strangling him with it.
Yup, hanging it over him, ties him up, and just starts dragging him down the street. He's disarmed him and everything. Your rights, Miranda.
You got the rights to remain silent. And it's just another day in the life of Deke De Silva.
Now, one of the biggest issues, especially for radio purposes, there's at times a lot of cuts in this movie. So we're going to do our best to streamline.
Yeah, because we're seeing two stories. We're seeing
Yes.
the story of Deke De Silva, and we're seeing the story of Wolfgar.
And that's where we're going right now to London. I still believe this is December 31st.
Yes, and we see a very familiar face, but not so familiar.
Although technically we'd be going back in time because this would make this earlier
this
in the
could
day.
be New Year's Day. I don't remember.
Yeah, it could be.
But it is Rutger Hauer. He's got a beard. He's got a visibly larger nose because he's playing a different character.
Mm-hmm.
Brown eyes, doesn't have those beautiful blue eyes that you get lost in when you're watching a Rutger.
Wait, this was
Hauer
Rutger
movie.
just in disguise?
No, it was Rutger as his character was supposed to be born as.
Yeah, I understand that, but it was Rutger playing the guy.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was somebody else.
No, it was Rutger.
Okay.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious right now.
He just had a slightly bigger nose. It was totally Rutger Hauer.
Totally worked for me. I'm
Wow,
still.
it worked. You got lost in the fucking magic.
It works every time.
So-
The only thing that worked for me that I was like, this is probably Rutger is the way he wore that turtleneck. Ooh boy! I only hope when I wear my turtlenecks, I look as good as Rutger.
So Rutger walks into walks into a department store, and he starts making goo eyes, sweet talk, sweet nothings to the girl at the perfume counter.
Yeah.
We recognize this woman.
Yes. Oh, I did.
Shocked because a year ago she was the star in the biggest musical ever made, The Apple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I didn't look her name up. So it's like Mary Elizabeth,
I'll
Mary
like
Catherine something.
Oh, yeah, the actress's name. I don't.
Yeah, it's her from The Apple. The female lead of The Apple is just playing this bullshit tiny role as Perfume Girl. I think that's what even her credit was, Perfume Girl. And he's like, we learn in this first scene, Deke loves to dress as a woman.
Yes.
And we learn that Wolfgar loves women, period, because he knows how to charm ladies.
It's just interesting when you know where this movie's going to go, the fact that Deke is a master of disguises. So, of course, it's like he's walked a mile in disguise. He knows how to think like somebody in disguise.
That is the main theme of this movie, getting in the mind of your opponent.
Right.
So Wolfgar is, as he's sweet talking this young girl.
What would you say Rutger's vibe is? Because I give him like college professor, like
exactly,
sexy college.
That's exactly the guy who fucks his students. It's exactly the vibe he's giving off.
So he might be 40.
He even had the patches on his elbows. Yeah,
he's constantly wearing like the blazers and everything and nice sweaters because, again, winter time, so he would be. But yeah, he's got that vibe where it's like early 40, handsome man, and all the girls are just swooning over him because he knows about history and shit. He actually can read the words that are in books. He reads them.
That's what you do.
Yeah, and all the girls they like that.
And so as he's sweet talking her, she is in the smog, people. She is inhaling it. She's like fucking Frank Booth in the nitrous. She's freebasing that fucking smog.
Dude.
He is putting a backpack he had on, like kicking it underneath the counter that he's at.
Right. Very smooth. He's very agile, very nimble.
And he says, I will take 3 bottles of high karate, thank you. So he buys 3 bottles of high karate. That was actually a cologne back in the 70s.
Okay.
And he walks out. And as soon as he walks about 100 feet, boom! The whole fucking building goes off.
What the fuck? And we follow him as he just walks into a phone booth and he calls up the press. Wolfgar has struck again. British colonialism is going down, and I'm prepared to fight anybody. Everybody is my enemy.
Yeah, because we learn in this movie,
Get out of your butt.
Sorry.
My dog, she's got a bald spot now because she's licking too much.
Wolfgar is a terrorist for hire. His only cause is money. He will work for anybody who will offer him the right price. So, yes, he calls it in, and he loves the fame.
I was gonna say, it seemed like his motivation, at least halfway into the movie, was that he wanted to be recognized as the greatest terrorist of all time.
Right.
And that's a hard mantle to top.
Right. Cut to New York, January 4th. Fox and Deke are on a new mission. They got their fucking... Deke's got the sweet fucking leather trench. He's got a beret on. Was it a beret or was it a newsboy cap? I couldn't tell.
I thought it was a newsboy.
We had it on backwards.
Yeah.
And they're just chilling in the ghetto.
Samuel L. Jackson saw that. I was like, oh, I'm going to take that look.
They're walking. They go behind an alley. It's fucking New York in the early 80s, so it's all bombed out looking and shit. Mm-hmm. They go behind the...
You were saying it, though. Like, all these fucking exterior shots and everything are just... You're drowning in just, like, so much character in the surroundings. It's so cool to see.
New York is a character in and of itself.
Exactly. And, like, we love that shit. It looks so fucking good.
Walk around the back of the building. They climb up the fire escape. And then because apparently this is a crack house, and it's all sealed off at the bottom. So they walk down the steps. It's very. What was that? We did a blaxploitation movie recently. It was the same scenario where they had to, like, go. What the fuck was it? It was this year.
I know.
Fuck, I don't remember.
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it almost could have been done to like a little bit of jazz music, but the music across this movie was all over the place.
Yeah, it was written by Keith Emerson of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, who also did one of my favorite soundtracks. One of my favorites, Murder Rock.
Oh yeah.
Leotards and leg warmers. I love it. So they're going down, and they bust. They pull out the shotgun.
Was there ever a porn movie done in the style of Giallo, where you just get the shot of the dick as it, like, I don't know, walking around like the knife?
Now that you say this, should be.
There should be, right?
Somebody make that happen.
Somebody.
I would watch that.
I mean, you have to do with 30% of the movie just being the shot of the penis, like, approaching some unsuspecting person.
No, I mean, that would be the murder weapon, if you will.
The wiener. Very adult.
Somebody make that
Is that
happen.
a thing? Is that a thing?
It is now.
Yeah, and that's a Merman Production stamp of approval.
Trademark.
Call up Andy Sedaris.
Pull out. Well, he's dead. They pull out the shotguns. I think Deke's got it sawed off. Fucking Fox has just got a regular shotgun.
You see, this is what the conservatives are talking about. This is back in the day when the cops could do their job. They had full 12-gauge assault shotguns, people. The ones the Terminator had. That's what we need to fight these, drug addicts. That's what we need.
They bust in.
Student protesters no more.
Exactly. Bust in. They make the bust. Guy's like, hey, what do you want? How much do you want? Because he's used to dealing with, like, cops that are on the take.
Right.
But Deke and Fox, they're fucking superstars. They don't fuck around.
Right. And Deke doesn't have to say anything because Matt's the one who flips off the handle. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? The last guys who broke in here wanted money? You think we're going to take a bribe?
You think I'm fucking crooked, motherfucker?
He's got his shotgun down the guy's throat.
Meanwhile, about it, like a 10-year-old child's watching this in shock.
Yeah.
In there. And he sees the kid and he eases up with you. Hey, ease up, dude. Yeah. Ease up, Fox.
Yeah.
Because we learned that Deke only uses a lethal weapon when it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
When that ground has to be stood upon.
Oh, yeah.
He uses it. So he's like, cool it, Fox. And he calms down.
And I love this because he just says, you're all arrested. I don't have enough handcuffs. Everybody put your hands behind your back. Single file. Walk down
Honor system.
Walk down to the police station. And there is 13 goons and a child in here. And all the goons just do just as he says. See, that's all you have to do.
All you got to do is talk to him like a human being.
That's right. And so they all start walking out single file, except the child who's just stunned. And Stallone says, you too, kid. Hands behind your back.
And he assumes the position, and they're all arrested. So now another crime thwarted. New York is one step closer to safety.
That's right.
So they're going to celebrate. Deke's like, hey, I got to go check out my lady. So they go down to did you say it was the local Ann Taylor?
It's at Ann Taylor on the outside.
Okay, so they stop by.
High fashion. I thought maybe our Death Wish, I can't remember his name right now. Who plays Death Wish?
Charles Bronson.
Yeah, I know. Who's the character?
Paul Kersey.
Paul Kersey. He was dating the fashion lady.
In the classic Death Wish 5, Face of Death.
That's right.
Look for it. We did it.
We did it.
It introduced the idea of an acid pit.
Oh my God, so I'm wondering where's the acid pit. I thought that's what we were.
I thought every house of fashion had an acid pit. This one did not.
That's what we were informed of.
So they walk in, they do a little patter between each other. Like, you're gonna go in with looking like that,
Right, because he's undercover. We've been talking about this. He's a master of disguise, and so he's like, at least take your fucking hat off, and then. As soon as he leaves, Maddie's hitting on all the women walking by. Let me get the door for you, my lady.
It is Billy D, after all.
He's a smooth talker.
So we see not only is his ex-wife, not his ex-wife, I think they're separated. They're divorced, they just separate. I think they're separated.
Tell you, man. Yeah.
Irene, played by the great Lindsay Wagner. If you watch 70s TV, you know her as the Bionic Woman.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And not only that...
She's got a robot heart.
We talk about how we just manifest things. Like we talk about stuff and then things just happen in the world. Okay, her guy playing her boss. I was just talking to someone about this person because I was talking to a woman. We were talking about our woods porn. Have you ever had woods porn? Shockingly, this young lady, who is the only person I know over the age of 40 who's never found woods porn.
What?
Yes.
Suspicious.
Well, I think boys probably have better porn radar than girls do, so maybe that was in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, the actor playing.
Also, I think the word spread across the boys circuit a little bit more, because everybody
Definitely.
knew, all the teen boys knew about,
Yeah.
or child boys, whatever boys,
Little boy.
little boys. We all knew about. I mean, guys, I was 8 when I'm talking woods porn here, so
Yeah.
of course.
Well, that's when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you've always wondered, Griff, what's the first dick I've seen besides that wasn't my own? It was this guy's dick, all right? Because I remember as clear as day because my friend.
I remember every bump in hair.
Well, you do. The first dick you ever see, Griff, you remember.
I can tell you, I saw that first dick.
Especially when you're a kid because you're like, oh, my God, they get that big, Like, you don't know what's going on with your dick. You're not getting boners at fucking 6.
Oh, yeah, but I saw a flaccid dick first.
No, this is full at half. This is at
know.
full mast.
I'm telling you, I locked myself in the men's locker room when my dad was working at the tennis club down the street because I stole some Skittles and I thought I got found out. So I hid in the locker, shut myself in, then realized and panicked and started banging on it while I was eating not M&Ms, Skittles. And then this naked guy comes and opens the locker because he's like, what the fuck? And so the first thing I see is fat old dude, naked, didn't have enough of the Peter Griffin stomach to cover his little flaccid wiener. That was the first other male genitalia I saw.
Yeah, okay. That's more horrifying than what I saw. So, yeah, I technically, I didn't find it. My friend found it. But it was a magazine. It was really gross because it was like pages from a magazine because it was like sitting out in the fucking woods.
Yeah.
So it was all like gross.
Damn,
and,
wet, yeah.
And he's getting his dick sucked by this chick. And I remember that. And the person I was talking to happens to be a vintage porn connoisseur. So they know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So just by happenstance, the conversation just went on to like, hey, what kind of porn do you like? And she said, this actor is my favorite porn actor of all time. And she sent me a clip of the guy. I was like, that's the guy!
That was that was like, oh my God, I've known this dick my whole life and never knew the name.
Well, yes. I was like, that's the dude I was fucking, like, I saw get his dick sucked. Small world. Apparently the guy's name was Jamie Gillis.
Millie.
Because in the 70s, there was like 5 guys allowed in the porn industry.
Right.
So this guy was in like half of the fucking porn movies ever made.
Which is why everybody probably knows Hedgehog or...
Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, Ron
right.
Jeremy,
Or,
yeah.
John Holmes. Everybody knows those guys.
Yes, yeah, even John Holmes, yeah.
So, because they're the only guys allowed to do porn in the 70s.
Right.
So, yeah, so he's playing this bit role as just the boss of Irene, and he's just like... Fittingly, you get a porn actor to do this role because he's like, yeah, that buyer's coming in town. How about you show him a good time?
Yeah, he specifically uses the word, why don't you escort him around town, which is our new word for prostitutes now. They use escorts, which I just saw True Romance, and that's exactly what she called herself in that movie from the 90s.
So
Detroit, full of comic books. We were joking about it.
Grindhouses and comic book shops. It's all downtown Detroit.
Murray, I did get a little tear in my eye in that opening scene when he goes to see 3 Sonny Chiba movies. First of all, don't sit through 5 hours of movies in one sitting. Yeah. But if you are going to, I guess Sonny Chiba movies.
Right. And so she notices Deke, goes over to him. She's like, what are you doing at my work?
Why are you dressed like this? Have you been out cruising?
Yeah, apparently everybody was cruising in the early 80s in New York.
Guys, we are not fibbing this line. That was exactly what Irene said.
He did, in her defense, he did have a fucking purple bandana hanging out. Of course, what does that mean, Griff?
Purple bandana, of course, means you're into piercings. It was in the left pocket, so he actually wants to pierce people while he's piercing them with his wiener.
You can say we were busting some balls. Hey, and then she's like, come outside, because her boss is watching this.
He's starting to get into details, and she's like, fuck, my boss doesn't like to hear this kind of thing, which is even funnier knowing that he's in the business.
Right.
He's probably going to call him out like, bullshit!
Yeah.
I've been on set For those scenes.
So they go out to like the back door, and we learn this is like, they're separated, and he wants to get back together.
Now, I want to know the psychology behind this because he's doing this. He's sweet talking her. Oh, babe, I just, you know it. You know how it is.
I want you back, babe.
Yeah. Well, why did you never? Oh, you were never this sweet with me when we were together. You're not gonna be happy with me as soon as you get back. I just didn't know how much I was miss you when I was gone. I don't get this. Fuck this guy.
And she's like,
saying.
look, this is the reason why we separated. I can't. You're in love. You're married to your job.
Yeah.
So she's just like, get out of here.
Like, if you remember, I mentioned that they could have any job on the police force they want, but him and Matt refuse.
They have to be on the streets.
They want to be in the line of danger every night. Otherwise, they can't. He probably cannot get his dick up without busting some drug deal or
Then
something.
just have her put a gun to your head or something.
It's
all right?
not good enough. She's not convincing. That's why he has dressed as her and shown
So
her how
are
to
we
do
gonna
it.
Does Deke have a rape fantasy?
Deke 1,000% has a rape fantasy.
Men can have it too.
Of course they can.
So she goes, get out of here. And so, cut to January 6th, London. Back to Wolfgar.
Guys, we're going to the even worse January 6th, the one from London, like 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's worse because it's like a frat party. And like we said, he's very much college professor. So he's the guy. They even did a gag in Animal House. He's the guy who has the acoustic guitar, which always works on the babes. And he's got some fucking women hanging on him.
Oh, yeah, no, these are super liberal babes. He's got them.
And he's just like, anybody here like Dave Matthews?
Anybody here likes women's rights?
And then he just starts playing. I don't know any Dave Matthews songs, but it's playing one.
Please don't let me down. I think that was a Dave Matthews song.
I don't know, but he's playing it. And, of course, these are boring white girls. They probably have dogs to fuck in the future, but now they're just boring white girls, and they're melting at his Dave Matthews-isms.
Again, he's drowning in this turtleneck sweater. Not drowning. He's wearing it so well. It's just... Rutger just kills it. I didn't even recognize it was Rutger, and he's still just blowing me away. Tweed blazer, turtleneck sweater, acoustic guitar. It's like Nick Drake. He's going for that hard folk shit.
Guy walks in. It's Kenneth, and he's like, "Hey, I need to speak to you." So they go off. He's like, "Excuse me, I'll be back."
Yeah.
They go out to.
I really am quite charming. Just keep it warm.
Kenneth goes. This is we learn that Kenneth's got an Irish accent, so he's working for the IRA. The IRA hired Wolfgar to do a bombing for them.
Oh,
so but they're pissed off. Mercer, who's the guy who's supposed to pay Wolfgar, is like, they're pissed off, man. There were kids that got killed in that bombing. You went too far. And he's like, I didn't go far enough. You know, what the fuck? I'm an artist.
You guys are fucking cowards because again, he's also a clout chaser. He's trying to be the best terrorist in the world, everybody.
Right. And he's like, and if you're here, because you got arrested, if you're here, you brought the fucking cops. I would never do that to you, Wolfgar. I would never do that. And then as soon as he says that,
you just get like a little bit of silence, and you can almost see Rutger put his hand to his ear, Hulk Hogan style. Because you hear a car screech up outside. He lowers the blinds a little bit. He's like, guess my dick's remaining dry tonight.
So he walks Kenneth out. Kenneth's scared shitless.
That's right.
And he's just like, I hate to have to do this. Just shoots Kenneth with his fucking little Uzi, pulls out of his ass.
Yeah, he walks out with the acoustic guitar, and it looks like he's going to rip off another power ballad as these guys are storming up the stairs. And then he shoots through the guitar. He was hiding a fucking Uzi, takes out these gang members.
Oh, cops. He's a gang
Cops.
member.
Yeah, of course. Of course they're cops. I'm so sorry. He's the bad guy. Rutger's the hero of my heart, Murray. So, of course, I'm going to say they're his opponents. Well, they are. Anyways, then he turns to little nerd Kenneth, and he closes his eyes. And do you remember what he whispers to him?
No.
You're going to a better place, friend. Because he uses that line multiple times. He's got a way. He's got a style. He's got a bullet, people.
He's got a catchphrase.
He's got a catchphrase. And one of the big details that we're going to learn about is he has a gun and a bullet he always uses.
He uses a type of bullet, yeah.
Yeah.
So, kills Kenneth, and then we just see, like, the aftermath. The cops are all around. They're like, fuck, we just lost 3 good men. And we see a character, Inspector Peter Hartman. And he's like, Don't worry. We're on his trail. We'll get him.
Yeah, we're going to get him. These people have friends, and the friends are around them, and we'll get the friends, and then we'll get to him.
January 9th, we're in Paris, France. Gay Paris.
Yeah.
A train rolls in. We see a woman get up, but not any woman. This is another G&G favorite.
What, really?
Persis Kambata. Most people know her as the bald chick from Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Okay.
We know her as the female lead from Megaforce.
Oh.
And the female lead in that Ginty movie where he had the talking motorcycle.
Oh, my
Donald
God, yeah.
Pleasance was in it.
Yep.
Yeah. So she pulls up, she gets out, and then I'll let Griff explain the rest of the scene.
Guys, I was in love with this scene. I live for the details. And again, we're on like the streets of Paris. This is a beautiful fucking shot. Again, a gorilla shot.
The sexiest city. I'm just laying the groundwork. The sexiest city of all time.
And, I always wondered, since I've seen heavy metal, if these characters are based on anything out of reality. And it turns out Harry Canyon was a real person. And they just found this guy, and they're like, he just works too well for this movie. There's a little video drum trying to give him a message, but he's just sitting there, griffing up a bunch of oysters.
Remember, because we're in France.
Yeah.
Harry in New York would be gnawing on a sloppy dog.
Of course.
France, it's oysters.
It's
that's
oysters.
the equivalent.
So he's just slurping them down. There's lemon wedges, and he's just squeezing them into his mouth.
So gross.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oysters, never your thing?
No.
I've had someone explain the experience to me. He's like, I've done it with hot sauce.
Slimy.
I've done it plain. I've done it this way, that way. He's like, you're eating phlegm. Why is this sexy? Why is this erotic? Why is this tasty? What?
Oh.
I don't. Well, there's people like Bluey, so.
Exactly.
So
he slurps down some oysters. He's a cab driver. She gets in his cab. I was reading Griff's notes like, why is he obsessing? I didn't even remember this guy because I know she is the main character, not this guy.
Right.
Griffith wrote a fucking literal half a page about what he was wearing, what he was looking like.
Newsy hat. He had a scarf. He had a dingy leather jacket.
You were like what he was thinking about, which you don't really need, his motivation.
I wrote in the part where he did clean his hands by squeezing the lemon juice, so that does sanitize it, but it's going to leave it sticky.
And then he wiped it on his pants.
Wiped it on his pants. It's going to leave sticky residue, though.
Takes her to a church, and she goes straight to the confessional booth, and who is she going to confess to? Wolfgar.
I did have to look up the script for the movie, because the copy we had did not have closed captioning.
Yeah, subtitles. So, because they're speaking in German to each other.
Yes.
And so what basically they're saying is she's like, I can't believe you had me meet you in a church. And he's just like, hey, babe, I go wherever the fuck I want.
Right. The whole idea is Interpol's after you. They know what you look like. They have your fucking... And he's just like, I do whatever I want. I'm going to leave on the breeze.
They know what he looks like because Kenneth had a fake passport made for him. So now they know what the Wolfgar, he's like a mysterious character. Nobody knows what he looks like.
Yeah, he's famous in the papers or infamous in the papers, but only by what he tells them.
And he's like, never mind that. He wants the payment from Mercer. And it turns out Mercer gave him a ticket to Madrid and British pounds, which he can do nothing with because he's in fucking Paris.
Right.
So he's like, what the fuck?
If only they invented a currency that works all of Europe.
And then, it wouldn't even work because Brexit.
Yeah, Brexit ruined it all.
So we learn that he's losing all his contacts. He's such a wild card. Even fucking psycho terrorists don't want to work with him. They're like, he's too dangerous. He's too loose cannon.
Right. So none of these revolutionary groups, nobody's.
Well, he's like, even Hamad. And she's like, yeah, he thinks you're a dead man. He's like, fuck, I got to get him. Hamad's the ultimate terrorist guy. I got to get his fucking get his good graces again.
Right.
So now he's thinking about a new plan.
He's like the Kid Rock of terrorists.
Right. All right, back to New York. What are Matt and Deke doing? Well, they're cleaning up the streets like they're always doing.
We're on another fucking crackdown. What is this? The third in the movie.
Right.
It's already their third crackdown, and we've seen their style. First case, effective as fuck. They got their guys. Second, they got 12 guys and all the drugs in the fucking city. They stopped the whole drug ring. Third, guys, now they're working a beat where he's a businessman. This is straight out of that movie, Falling Down. Right. He's got his briefcase.
They're in a park.
Nice coat. He's dressed to the nines this time. Probably Irene helped him put this outfit together. Yeah. And he's walking under an overpass, a bridge, Yeah. And
who would walk under those? Those seem like everyone gets murdered in 1980s New York in
Well,
those little fucking bridges.
Now you
because they're walking bridges. They're not like driving bridges.
right,
Yeah.
and now you understand why people started fingering and feeling out buttholes under them because they took them back, Murray. They made it a beautiful place.
They can have them. I don't want that.
Well, you don't have to be down there, Murray.
So I won't
But
be.
people aren't being murdered down there. They're
So-
being eroticized.
He's like, Deke's like, fell right into my trap. And just as they're about to descend, he's just about to kick the shit out of these guys. Cops fucking show up because they think it's a real fucking robbery.
Yeah.
Where's the cop when you need him?
Think about the people who decided, you know what? I don't actually need to walk around my property. I'm going to buy a golf cart to get around now. You know, a Brian Last type of person. I got to drive my golf cart around. That's what these cops remind me of. Because you just said it's a pedestrian park.
Right.
You're supposed to be walking around. They're like, yeah, this sidewalk's wide enough for me to drive my car through.
Well, they're heroes. You gotta
Exactly. They're New York's finest. So they come flying through this park in their fucking cruiser, almost hit fucking Deke.
Fox's motivation throughout this movie is pure white hot rage.
Yes.
What the fuck? The fuck are you doing, man? We were gonna bust these grapes. They're like, well, we're just doing our job. Sorry.
We can never work these streets again because of right now. Neither of them are wearing masks like they sometimes do. It's like you're plain facing this. What are you talking about?
This was weeks of a stakeout, you fucking piece of shit. Get the fuck out. And they're like, well, the captain wants to see you guys. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
They give them a note.
Right.
They don't know why. They're just like, well, we just have this note for you. They don't know if it's important. They were just told to deliver a note, and they decide this is the way we're going to do it. 80 miles an hour through a fucking pedestrian park. But, yeah.
So Fox is so pissed off. He reads it, crumbles it, and throws it on the ground. And then there's another great sly improvisation.
Thank you. I was going to make us talk over this.
Hey there, you littering there. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that. Hey, calm down there.
They keep taking steps, and he's like, hey, I'm serious. Go pick that up. And he's like, what are you going to do, arrest me? Funny. Stallone likes funny.
What would Woodsy the Owl think about, littering there?
Is he the original quirky character?
Deke De Silva?
Stallone. Period.
I don't know.
Because all of our masculine heroes are quirky now.
All I know, Griff, is we're back in Paris. A lot of back and forth.
Sorry.
So many back and forth, we actually will consolidate two scenes later
Oh
on.
my God! And thank us for that. If you see this movie,
Wolfgar, they know what he looks like. He's got to change his face. Thankfully, there's an underground plastic surgeon everyone goes to. Michael Jackson, everybody. And they're talking about, this is in French, so this is another thing we had to read the goddamn script.
again, we're learning about how fucking deep this character Wolfgar is. He speaks German. He speaks French. He's
English.
He speaks in a perfect American accent too. The way he ordered a coney dog. Ooh.
He's like, I want a Kevin Bacon nose.
Yes.
I feel bad for anybody who's got a Kevin, like that upturned pig nose. Like Nick Cave has it too. That, like,
Yeah.
bad
Okay.
upturned nose.
I couldn't imagine Kevin Bacon's, but I know Nick Cage's
Yeah.
knows. Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, I want a cute little button nose,
Yeah.
stronger jawline, and give me some baby blues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, how about these? No. Nine ugly. No. And then he's like, oh my God, make me beautiful.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this guy, he's like, do it fast.
Do it fast.
And sure enough, this guy does it because he's the Rutger we all know and love. Beautiful. All right, back to Deacon, man.
Sorry.
Another fucking G&G favorite. Joe Spinell
That's
plays his annoyed fucking captain, Lieutenant Manafo.
I appreciate the fuck out of this scene. We're so used to our heroes getting their way, and everyone be like, well, he gets results. We're used to that.
Right.
And I love this scene because we get a little bit of a twist on that.
Hey, man, we taking us off the streets. What is this bullshit?
We got a bigger mission because he's trying to speak calmly and confidently. Guys, we got a bigger mission from you. I got a call from a whole command team you're going to be reporting to. Interpol's involved. It's a really fucking big deal.
It's like there's a new counterterrorism task force called ATTACK. And it's led by Peter Hartman, this British inspector. And so he's like, I don't know. Like, I get my orders and I give the orders to you. And he calls him sucker. He's like, look, sucker, you do what you're told. And they do what they're told.
He tries to
begrudgingly.
He tries to touch him. He tries to turn the captain around, and he's like, I don't fucking report to anybody but you. I work the streets. And Joe Spinell goes, "Don't you fucking touch me! Do not fucking touch me! Report to your new attack squad." I love that. I love that. We're so used to our fucking heroes just doing whatever the fuck they want, and the captain just be like, "God damn it, I hate it, but he gets results." But no, Joe Spinell fucking spit fire, and I'm so sorry if that doesn't, like, we don't yell that much into our mics. If that doesn't come through, I'm so
feel
sorry.
it like Stallone felt it.
Dude, I appreciate Stallone because we're used to our cigars and shit where it's just, I want to suck this man's dick so bad. Like,
And the last time, and we know if you follow the orders, you go up, because the last time we saw Joe Spinell, he was getting his dick sucked by a gay prostitute in drag in Cruising.
oh, was he?
Yeah. That was the very first scene in Cruising.
Oh, okay.
All right, so now we meet.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We meet Hartman. He's breaking down what attack means. It's like anti-terrorism attack committee or some shit. And we learn they've got radios, wagons, helicopters, direct line to Paris. Every one of you guys will be trained as a fresh counter-terrorist. And they're like just being punks. They're just like not taking it seriously. Yeah. They're fucking flicking each other in the dick and shit like that.
They're school kids.
Yeah.
They're children. They're fucking wiping boogers on each other. They're ripping their erasers off each other's pencils. They're fucking kicking a paper football to each other. Right. They are fucking children. At one point, I think I mentioned this, but Billy D, pulls out one of the fucking hand shockers, and for some reason, Stallone
Joy buzzer.
Yeah. Stallone tries to shake his hand and gets shot.
Because, like you said, they're not taking it serious. They think what they do is serious, and this is nonsense.
Right.
Because Hartman is about getting into the... He's the original mind hunter.
Yeah,
getting into the mind of the enemy. So he's just like... And this is an English cop. Cops that don't even carry guns. He starts complaining about the pussy-ass liberal American police system that's about capturing people and not killing them. And he's like... Hesitation kills. And then fucking Fox is like, Wolfgar, he's got to be going underground. No, this is where he would be the most dangerous. The problem with Wolfgar is this is only the beginning.
Right, he's questioning it. He's just like, look, this guy's already had some big hits out there and everything. He's probably just going to lay low. He wants to live. No, his goal is to have the high score of terrorism.
Right.
High score.
So Hartman's like, let me give you his dossier. His real name is Hauer Reinhardt. His turn-ons are good food, deep conversation, and the nightlife. Master of the cock smog.
God damn it. If I haven't read this profile 1,000 fucking times this year, Murray, at least in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's my dating profile.
Yeah.
He likes to latch onto any woman and use them for living, where to live, and where to fuck, and to store all his weapons. And then he goes, okay, but at this scene, we're going back and forth, but we're just going to stick with fucking Hartman for now.
Right.
And he's like, he's a terrorist for hire who's been ostracized by the terrorist world, but he wants to prove he's invincible. Use the media to spread his message of fear. We figure he has a new face because there was a French plastic surgeon found dead.
Correct.
And his signature bullet was found in the body. He has a known associate named Shaka, a rich bitch who's desperate for street cred. I asked her what her favorite Black Flag album was. She said TV Party. That wasn't even a Black Flag album. So he's like, she's a total poser. Wolf got improvised. He answers to no one. Deke is just jerking off, just doodling pictures of fucking Wolfgar.
He is okay.
He's putting a dick on the face, like in the mouth of the fucking.
I'm dead serious. We were joking about this earlier. He is drawing so hard, and his eyes are closed. He's dead asleep. His glasses are barely on his face. Matt Fox, he's completely stumped over in his chair, and Spinell is trying to go, guys, wake up. And they're just goofing. They're just kids.
And Deke just gets out of his seat. Look, enough of this talking. I need action.
Whoa. Just gets out of his seat. He goes, I can't do it anymore.
He makes the fart noise with his armpit. He does a nice raspberry, yeah. And he's like, action, not words. And he's like, like Hartman's just fuming.
That's right. And he's like, what would you say we do that? M.O. Cut the police bullshit. We're done with your street cop shit. We're fucking counter-terrorists. That I might have jumped ahead.
Right.
I'm
So
so sorry.
we cut to Wolfgar. What's Wolfgar up? Well, he's in America now.
Think about it, guys. We talked about what his MO is and everything, so we're going to learn a little bit about that.
Wolfgar obviously also is heavy into D&D because that's such a D&D character name, Wolfgar.
Right. It has a big D&D name.
So he arrives in the U.S. We see it like a guy's like checking his passport. Are you here for business or pleasure? And he's like, pleasure. And we see that beautiful fucking face of Rutger Hauer.
I love this because
blonde hair, blue-eyed, God.
I got to tell you, these guys who check you in, they're super serious. And he looked at his face, and he looked into his eyes like, sir, you have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen on a man.
I'm getting lost in your eyes, sir. Do whatever you want.
Right.
Go with God.
Do you want my gun and badge?
So as soon as he leaves the airport, immediately scouting targets. He's just in his cab. He notices a little gondola that goes to Roosevelt Island. He's like, that could be a good thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I just love it. His ingenuity. I love the opening scene of him, like on the streets in New York, where he's just pointing to the street map, the subway system and everything.
Yeah.
Every establishing shot, Rutger just kills it.
He goes to the UN building. He's like, this could be a nice target.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I see this.
And then he's like, time for some nightlife. I need a place to stay tonight. And I ain't paying for a hotel.
It's the middle of the day, by the way.
Right.
It's called the nightlife, but it's the middle of the day.
Hits the discos, immediately finds a swinging stewardess. Griff, sexiest profession of all time. So he senses that. He goes right for a beeline.
Yeah, I love this scene, how they set it up and everything, because he's just sitting at the bar. He's got his beautiful turtleneck on, as always. Again, winter time, so it makes sense. But it's 3 o'clock on a Thursday, and I looked up the date.
I think he's also wearing a scarf, too.
He did have a scarf hanging over. He loves a scarf.
Yes.
It's his bad boy professor look, man. You want me to give you a thesis on evolution of my dick? But yeah, he's hanging out at the bar, and we see his game work out. We don't cut to the chase. We get to see.
He's like the Predator.
Thank you, Murray. I was going to say he had T2 vision, Terminator vision, because he's scoping out, and he sees like some hoes dancing together, and he's like, no, they're closet gays. Beautiful couple. They're going to be great together. And then he's looking around, and he's like, that guy's got cocaine in his butthole. And then he hones in on this one girl, and she's like, what's going on? Why can't a girl get a dance around here? That's my woman New York accent. Was that good?
Great.
Thank you.
He makes a beeline. He's like, that's the one. And immediately shacks up with her.
Yeah, he's got
champagne with
He's
him.
already got a bottle of champagne, so he gets a second glass and takes it over. And you can't hear him really over the dance music. They're in the middle of the dance floor. Right. And he's pouring her a drink while people at 3 p.m. on a Thursday. It's Thirsty Thursday, after all.
He likes the nightlife. He's got the boogie. So immediately that night moves in with her.
Right. They go outside. She takes him to all the fucking TV studios.
Yeah, because he's interested in the media. He wants to learn. That's his cover. I want to learn about the media.
Yeah.
Of course, we know his love affair with the media.
Yeah. That's ABC Studios. The radio's down the street. CBS is right there. There's David Letterman.
And she's like, by the way, I never got what you did. He tells her the truth. He's like, I'm an international terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm looking for some places to blow up.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, stop kidding around.
What do you do? I don't care what you do. Take me home.
So she's got to do a red eye that night. So she takes off on her job. He's hanging out, pulls out his whole armory, his Kinjitache case of grenades and fucking shotguns, stores it in her closet.
I didn't notice this till the second watch through when he walks in. This is probably the second night he's been there. She left a note taped up on a low light bulb.
Yeah.
I wonder what that said.
It said, I got the red eye tonight, so I'll be out of town.
Oh,
She's a stewardess.
I thought it'd be something kinkier.
No.
Here's where my underwear drawer
No,
is.
it's just letting us, the audience, know she's not around, so he can bring in his fucking weapons.
Think about this, though, Murray. Single woman living in New York City, Manhattan, the big city, the Apple. The Apple, it's coming back again. She's got a 3-bedroom apartment by herself.
Yeah. Well, you could do that, I guess, apparently.
Before Airbnb stole them
Maybe
all.
she's a squatter. I don't know. But he's squatting down, checking out his grenades. Like, all right, all is in order. Next thing you know, we see him down on Wall Street. He's looking at this building. The building blows up.
Yeah.
Goes to the fucking
payphone,
calls it up. This is Wolfgar. I blew up your financial district, and now I'm going to head for your international district. So that immediately they're like, holy shit, he's going to go for the UN because he wants to put fear into them.
He does his whole line where he's like, you have no security. Write that down. Print it. I think that was his line. Print it.
Deke and the crew arrive at the fucking bombing. Hartman's there, and he's like, they're like, well, it didn't look like he killed anybody. He didn't want to kill anybody. He wants to instill fear.
You need to understand the mind of a terrorist.
Put all your cop training behind you, damn it. Deke is like, hey, I didn't sign up to kill. Damn you, you must stop. We must meet violence with greater violence.
I won't shoot anybody. I won't shoot anybody.
This is the first cop who doesn't want to kill somebody.
I know.
He has to push him. This English cop has to push him. Enough with your cop bullshit. Your wife already left you for it. You fucking cuck. Just know it. I know it. Wolfgar will know it. He knows everything about you.
That's it. I'm out.
So, wait a minute. Are we supposed to believe Irene left him because he will not murder people?
That's it. Irene is
because that's why she.
him.
You know why? Because it keeps him on the street. Because if you let because our pussy liberal system, they don't go to jail. They're immediately so it's catch and release basically.
Oh yeah, and she's actually a conservative lady, so she's like, no, hang these motherfuckers who got caught with an ounce of weed on them, hang them.
So next day, Pam is back at home. The girlfriend Wolfgar shacking up with, and she can't let her inner griff rest. So she sees that Kinja Taché case.
Murray, this looks so much like my life outside of Saturdays when I record with you. Dancing around in a robe, brushing my teeth, having a good time, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. Murray left his comics here. I like the nightlife. I like his comics.
I wonder why they're so rumpled.
Yeah.
And he catches her because what's the first rule of Griff? Never get caught.
I like that you're telling me the rules of Griffin. I already told you the rules of Griffin are get caught because you're like, no, this is out in the open.
So he's like, and she's like trying to calm her down. Don't worry, baby, it's okay. And then he puts her off camera.
He tells her the line. This is how it's implying without telling us that he's killing her, is that he says, it's okay, you're going to a better place now, which is what you tell a dog. You're going to a better place now, unfortunately. It's sadder than that, but...
All right, so yeah, she's dead. So next day, Deke is cooled off. He goes back to Hartman's in his fucking office working over shit, and he's like, hey, I don't want the transfer. I want to catch this guy. And he's like, well, I've looked into your records. And
he still is unsure about taking the shot.
Well, he's like, I don't want to take a shot when there are innocents around.
Because Hartman's whole thing is like, hey, if there's a couple innocents, who the fuck cares?
Shoot through them.
We're talking about a national terrorist. International terrorist. Like, kill this guy at all costs.
And he's like, I've been looking at your records, and it says right here when you were in Vietnam, 52 confirmed kills. Well, that was in war. In order to win a war, young man, you must become a war. And he's like, I think you have what it takes.
When the time comes, I think you'll do it right.
All right, so Wolfgar, he's got the munchies, heads down to the local bodega. That's what they call them. We call them party stores here. New York calls them bodegas. It's a convenience store.
Respect. We respect that. I mean, it has every natural convenience store thing. One roll of paper towel marked up to $9 because, convenience.
Right. And he's like, hey, do you have any Cuban melons here? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, really? Well, Wolfgar told me. And he's like, Wolfgar? Come right away, sir. And he leads him off in this little hidey hole they have in the basement.
That's right.
It's like a safe house for terrorists, apparently. All right, Deke back at his desk. He's calling. He's working on that fucking Wolfgar sketch. He's just twisting his mind around. He's like, he's got to be different looking.
And he gets a call from the Interpol officers and everything, and they call him, and they're like, hey, we're at the stewardess house. She's dead. He's like, what stewardess? What the fuck are you talking? Why are they there? But apparently this went up the chain pretty quickly.
Right. So they show up. Manafo's there, Joe Spinell. He's like, man, it's weird. There are all these maps of discos and this map.
Again, we're here under Deke's confusion. Like, what?
Right.
What the fuck are we doing here? And I was about to call him Mustafa. Munafa?
Munafo.
He has to explain, everything looks like just a single woman, living in an apartment by herself with 3 bedrooms.
Autoerotic asphyxiation. We know how it goes.
Right. We found her strangled in her closet.
There was a dildo shaped like a dog's dick, though. What? Apparently, that's a thing.
Was it the British Bulldog?
You know, we were talking about this. I think when we were doing anime, we both agree, and I think normal people agree, pedophile is disgusting, and you should be, frankly, executed. I think if you molest a little kid. But the conundrum is, well, how about if we let these people watch animated movies of child-looking kids? It's repulsive. The idea is, but with that, is that the answer to fucking Bandit? We'll get white women to stop fucking dogs if we let them have dildos shaped like dog dicks. I don't like it. The idea sickens me, but
There's a lot of things.
if it'll stop dog rape.
There's a lot of things people do behind closed door to help them, be out in the world better, and we need more people out in the world. So I think this. I think for real, it's just like I don't know, man. I want to see more people at Joel Coleman matches.
All right,
And
we're allowing it, but under duress.
What if we made these people have to actually see the other, like a methadone clinic for the
Scare
weebs?
straight kind of thing?
No, not that. Like they could watch these movies together, but it's like they have to do it together. You can't do it alone. You have to be there with everybody, and you have to see what you're with, like the Macho Groucho. I don't want to be in a club that didn't let me in or whatever. Like maybe
Did you say Macho Groucho? What did you call it?
I fumbled into
Macho
it.
Grox, I think you call him.
Macho
Groucho Marx.
Groucho
Brother of Karl Marx, of course, father of communism.
Sorry,
Nobody.
You don't like that?
I don't think there should be any movies made of this. They
there already exists.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So I'm not saying they create new material.
Maybe
It's like a support group,
like
I
a
think.
Clockwork Orange thing, where you make them
They
watch it
too much.
and then you give them that drug that makes them nauseous whenever they see it.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Going against the message of the movie. Then again, oh god,
So not only did they find a map of all these discos, they also found a map to that Wall Street area where the bombing happens. Like we got a lead.
Yeah, everything makes sense about this woman's apartment except this map where the bombs happen.
So the lead is singles bars. So because they know he likes the nightlife. He's got to boogie on the disco around.
They're supposed to be her.
Yeah,
so
but
they
I'm just
assume
saying.
that he picked her up
Right.
at one of the discos. Yeah.
So they're going to all the bars. Everyone's fucking. I ain't a rat. I ain't a snitch. I ain't never seen this guy.
One of them looked like Matt or Nick Jackson. I hated that.
And they finally get to one. The guy's like, "Yeah, I remember that guy. Beautiful blue eyes. You could get lost in them."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I saw him the other day." So they're like, "All right, we'll check out this one." So we see Deke with his sketch in his hand, looking around.
He does a lap without his glasses on, so we don't know what his prescription is. So he's doing the dance floor. He comes back around, and Matt's like, "Nothing. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's hit the streets. Let's bust."
Well, first he sees a guy who kind of looks like Rutger Hauer.
Well, yeah.
And it even fooled me for a second. I was like, "Is that Rutger Hauer?"
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like, no, he doesn't have the turtleneck. So I was like, I crossed him out.
He doesn't look like a sexy professor.
But then, like you alluded to at the beginning of the episode, he's got his sketch. He sees Rutger Hauer having the time of his life, and he just, like you said, just shades the side of the nose a little.
If you compare it to the last sketch he had, it's not even close. It's not the same humor. He had like fuzzy hair. It looked like a Jeff Daniels sketch from Dumb and Dumber is what he had originally. And now this one is like, they handed it to someone and said, "Could you do like a weird police sketch up of Rutger Hauer?" And they did it. And it still wasn't even close.
Literally just does a little shading on the nose. "This is him, right?" And Fox's like, "Fuck, it is." And then they lock eyes. Wolfgar knows that he's being watched.
Yeah, they closed the distance because they're across the dance floor. And of course, he's got some new hot fucking babe.
Right. And then he's just like, so Wolfgar's like, time to make an exit. So he starts walking away.
Yeah, the eye lock and it. Oh, it was so good. Again.
Wolfgar! Fucking that yell gets someone killed because Wolfgar just shoots in the fucking crowd.
Wolfgar had already pulled out a gun because he was like, "This guy suspects me." But then when he yelled out Wolfgar, he's like, "Oh, fuck." And sprays bullets.
Gets a bunch of people killed. They run after him. So we get a chase scene. Wolfgar gets down where they're constructing like a subway tunnel.
Yes.
Like in the middle of the night. There's still people working.
Hey, man. I mean, there's no traffic.
They're getting chased. they go to an area where there's like a working, functioning subway.
They get to the active subway system.
Before they do that, though, Wolfgar, because what's his face? Deke has been counting the bullets.
Yep.
Like, I count 7. He's out of bullets.
Right.
And then so like we got him now. So Wolfgar knows he's in deep shit too. So he runs to a crowded area, which is the subway
active
station.
subway stop. Happens to be a bunch of people here, and his whole tactic is fear. And he happens to find the oldest woman there and puts a knife to her and hides behind a pillar as our boys arrive. So they got their guns out. They're ready to shoot, but they don't got a clear shot.
And Fox is like, take the shot. I can't. Take the shot. Because another train stops. So that's the one that Wolfgar's going to get on. He's almost taunting fucking Deke because they're face to face now, but he's got the woman in front of him.
Right. He read the profile.
Fox is like, you heard what Hartman said. Bullet through that lady.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Right. She's an old lady. Deke. She's an old lady. She's lived a long life. She's ready to go. She's giving us the international sign of please now.
Put me out of my misery.
They cut off my health insurance. I don't have any of my meds. I'm dying inside anyways. Please.
I can't do it. And then he goes, haha, the train stops. And he jumps on the train with the old lady.
Right. He's got a whole cart to himself. He's got the knife to lay. Everyone's just backed up. They're like, oh, fuck.
So then Fox and Deke jump on the back of the the subway, as it takes off. So they start going through the cars. Did you notice there was one like background actor who was like pretending like he was asleep? Like all this shit's happening, and he's like got his head leaning against the fucking like
I like it.
wall.
Yeah.
While everyone else is like, what the fuck? Because they're going through the each car to the front. So they finally get to another stop, and I think he just throws the old lady away. Like he's like by himself.
Yeah, he's taking off running. Of course, Deke is a little slow to the stop. It's Matt who gets out first and is right on fucking what's his name's heels, Wolfgar's heels. And so Wolfgar turns a corner and then plants himself against the wall, waits for Matt to come around. Right. And then like a little samurai. It's a perfect slash.
Slashes him right across his jawline.
That's right.
And then it's his jawline. He was going to be okay. But Deke uses that excuse to not go after Wolfgar.
He had a clear shot of him, too.
He's like, and then he's like the guy that says, somebody better hold me back.
Yeah.
He's like, you're fucking dead, Wolfgar.
Yeah.
No.
He's even yelling at the people around him. He's like, everybody stop me. Hold me back.
You saw that. He got away. And they're like,
you're fucking dead. And then we cut to the hospital.
We see Fox. He's got big ass fucking bandage on his face.
It's like he visited a dentist in an old comic. It's wrapped around his jaw over his head. Yeah. Bow tie on top.
He's being wheeled out in a gurney, and Deke's trying to cheer him up. He's like, hey, don't worry. It's nothing vital got hit there because, you were lucky. You got such a strong jawline. A couple inches, it would have sliced your throat there.
Right. And he's trying to do his charming Stallone humor thing. We saw him do it with the littering bit. He's doing that. But his partner just got slashed in the face.
His beautiful face.
Because
he's like, I'm going to have a scar.
Dude, we haven't even talked about...
How could you... I can't say eating pineapple. It's on my fucking side of my face.
Right, think about that. He's going to be drowned... I mean, Matt drowns in the puss, but now you're going to have, that could fuck up. It's going to take a long time.
He might literally drown in puss.
He might literally try.
Yeah,
exactly. Jonah Hex always drowned in puss because he had that fucking gaping hole in his mouth.
So
cheek.
He's giving him the side eye through all of this shit. And he's like, Deke, come here. Deke puts his ear up to his mouth. You should have taken that fucking shot, bitch. All right. Wolfgar, he's in his bodega hideout. Shaka is there waiting for him. And she's just like, hey, man, the police know your new face now, too. You're fucked, man. Yeah. And he's like, well, what about Hamad? Does he want me back in? And he's like, oh, I'll make him beg to have me back. And he's like, and she reveals, remember that Peter Hartman, that guy's been looking for you in Interpol?
He's suspicious. It's like, how they figured me out so quick? And she's like, yeah, Hartman is right on your ass. He was right behind you to America.
And he's like, apparently Shaka is his intelligence agent because he's like, give me every info on any UN ambassadors, Hartman, and any member of the attack squad.
Oh, and most importantly, that motherfucker who chased me on the subway. How the fuck does she know the motherfucker who chased him on the subway?
That's
They have eyes
how
everywhere.
amazing she is, man.
Yeah. It's like that spy
Well,
show, The
he
Americans.
probably explained it to him. He's just like, he had a beautiful beard, great tinted glasses. I wish I had a pair of glasses like that.
Oh, you think so?
Mane of beautiful hair, flowing, Darth Vader like.
Okay, yeah. Darth Vader, thank you.
Yeah.
May the 4th be with you, of course.
Yeah. So Deke calls up Irene. He's like, once your friend's been through a life or death experience, you need comfort.
Yeah.
So you call up, your first booty call is, of course, your ex-wife.
Were they married? Did we decide that?
I think they were married. I don't know if they're divorced. I think they're estranged.
I think a young New York couple, I don't think they were married yet.
Cops are always married.
Oh, that's a good
And
call.
he's like, hey, I've been through some tough stuff, like Fox got his face messed up.
And I just want you to know, I need you to stay home, and I need you to be extra safe. No escorting.
And she's like, that perks her up.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, I heard there's a new Italian-Mexican fusion restaurant. Vinny's? You never want to go to Vinny's. Like, well, maybe if you're a good boy, we'll go to Vinny's.
Was it something about Foxy getting his face sliced up? Like, why are you being so cool now?
It makes me hot.
It's the She's into the violence. He's not violent enough.
Exactly.
She's finally thinking like this guy's ready to kill.
She's basically telling him she wants to fuck Fox because he was involved with a violent situation. But since Fox isn't available, she will fuck him.
I was gonna do this before we did the whole he's gonna drown in pussy because of the hole in his mouth thing. Yeah. We never talked about Billy D. Williams' hair in this movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How did we fucking talk about? Because he's got long hair.
It's perm, yeah. It straightens his hair out.
And then he straightened it out so it could be like Brad Pitt hair.
Yeah.
And he's always wearing a hat, like he wears a hat a lot.
Billy D never had an afro. He always had the fucking.
He always did his hair like okay.
Yeah.
Didn't he have one in Star Wars?
Yeah, he had straight hair in Star Wars.
Oh, he slicked it back, didn't he?
He didn't slick it back. It was more like styled a little.
Oh, okay.
In this movie, he slicks it back. As
Yeah.
your cat rubs his face on my fucking mic. All right, so now we're at this big fancy UN party. All the targets that fucking Wolfgar wants.
Foxy got 1 day off to get healed up, and he's already back on the beat.
Gigantic bandage on his face.
That's right.
They're out. They're doing surveillance, and they're.
You know what he looked like? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Neil Breen.
Yeah,
Neil Breen.
kind of.
Oh, God damn it. I'm so sorry.
Fateful findings, by the way.
Faithful Findings, please, everybody go check it out. We already did it. I had a discovery recently, and you might know this, but I was looking at, YouTube's been suggesting a lot of Elliott Smith to me.
Okay.
He could be Neil Breen. I looked at that face, and I was like, Elliott is a beautiful soul and everything. Neil Breen's also a beautiful soul. And I was like, I could see the evolution to where Elliott Smith becomes Neil Breen.
Well, I hope Neil Breen doesn't wind up like Elliott Smith.
Yeah, I hope so too, but I want people to look at that because that's real.
So they're going out of their way to let everybody know that they're safe. So, it's not like they're not really undercover. They got giant-ass walkie-talkies. They're checking in because Hartman's like, I want everybody, there's important people here. I want them to feel like they're safe.
There's nothing I like more than watching rich people have fun.
So he's like, hey, Hartman, how about after this we go out some Chinese food? And he's like, I would like that very much.
Right.
We can bond over some chicken chow mein.
Chicken chow. You can feed me a noodle or two.
As they're saying, Hartman's like on the escalators. He's saying it. He looks up. Shaka's at the top with a gun.
Yeah, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Boom! Shoots him. Deke runs to his body. Turns it over, and he's just like...
Oh, no, he tells everybody not to turn it over.
Oh.
Because he's suspecting grenades underneath him or something?
Maybe.
That's the... Was it? No, I'm thinking of Predator from last week.
Yeah. Wolfgar he's got bigger plans, and he walks out.
Oh, no, he says, I know exactly how he thinks now. This is the moment he realizes
Right. He
how...
finally's buying into Hartman's
he's figured
philosophy.
It took seeing his dead body to realize how he works.
Because he really wanted that chow mein.
He wanted
and
that chow mein.
You can't eat chow mein alone. That's like a bonding experience.
And Irene is giving him the cold shoulder until this whole Vinny day, and he's not going to ruin the Vinny date.
Right.
Like, you don't sell
You
out.
got, 2 weeks in advance to get a reservation at Vinny's, all right? It was the hottest thing.
Do you know how long it takes to make that bolognese nachos? Bolognese nachos? Everything comes back to nachos, people. We're Americans. We're stupid as fuck. I'm so sorry.
So, arriba. So, yeah, so I'm lost myself here. Oh, yeah, now we got the Shaka. Remember that little Roosevelt Island gondola that Wolfgar noticed when he first arrived in America? Well, that's his next target. Roosevelt Island, by the way, the island where Howard Stern and Flavor Flav grew up on.
Ooh.
So it's full of UN officials. So that's important because they're like just going on the gondola, going to Roosevelt Island, I'm assuming, and then right in the middle, Shaka just stops it. I think she kills the fucking driver and then stops it.
Yep. Stops it, and then Wolfgar steps up, introduces himself. Perfect English, got a little southern twang on there. Speaking, he notices everybody, racially profiles them to perfection, speaks in their language to them. Hello, please calm down. I'm going to take care of everything here.
You almost slipped into a weird accent.
I know.
I'm glad you pulled out.
I know. I pulled right out of it. I'm a trained professional. And then he introduces Shaka, and he goes, don't expect any mercy from this fucking ruthless slut over here.
And it turns her on.
Of course it does. I saw
a woman
that smirk.
has a crying baby. He's like, I assure you, Shaka has no maternal instincts.
That's right.
He's as smooth as like an airline pilot. He's like,
Do you remember what he's wearing here?
a fucking sweater, dude.
What color?
Cream
White.
colored? Yeah.
Thick cabling, white. Oh, he looks so good.
This is your terrorist speaking. Can you get me in touch with the police? I need to speak to them. So of course, what that means is Deke. He's got to speak to Deke. So he gets a word. Deke gets word of it. Jumps in the chopper, takes off. Wolfgar is like talking to the hostage. He's like, "Look, I might be a ruthless terrorist, but even I would never hurt a baby." And he like
caresses. How old's your baby? 5 months. Oh, 5 months. That was a tough year for me too. Then he looks
because it's only 5 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he looks over and he's like, "Oh, aren't you like the French ambassador or something?" Did you pick up what that was?
Yeah, it was. He was
French ambassador.
He was like he wasn't the French ambassador, but he worked for the French ambassador.
Okay.
And he's with his wife.
Yeah.
And
because I was like, was this the target of this, or is it just a hostage situation?
Well, yeah, I mean, the UN officials were targets.
Okay.
So, because they're important people.
And so that's who's on the gondola.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So Deke arrives in the chopper. It's literally just hovering right next to the gondola.
And you know, it's almost like Stallone did the enhanced thing because he goes closer. Helicopter's about to chop the fucking thing off. And he's like, "Yeah, a little bit closer. I can't quite read his lips yet."
Wolfgar's like, "I'd like to speak with your wife for a moment." Faces her towards Deke.
And the helicopter's trying to figure out, what's he doing? He's like pressing everybody against one window, and then he's walking over here. He's like, "Get me a little closer. I want to see into his soul."
And he's like, "I want you to know I'm serious, Mr. De Silva." Boom! Shoots the woman, throws her body out the gun. No!
I wish Stallone sold it like that. He goes, "Oh no!"
That's true.
And everybody was like, "What happened?" He shot the woman. He was completely deflated by it. He did not.
Why, Griff? Because he's in the mind of fucking terrorist now. So it doesn't. He doesn't.
Life doesn't matter to him.
Right.
It's only about. He's ready to shoot a hostage.
He's like, "I'm gonna drop. I have this baby here. I'm gonna drop a cable in 5 minutes for someone to retrieve it. Oh, and it better be Deke."
Yeah. Wolf is like, "I'll do it," and he's like, "Oh no. Deke's gonna come do it." And they're like, "Deke, you're gonna kill him the moment you see him." And Deke's like, "I'm not afraid to die."
So Deke gets winched up because there's a little winch thing on the gondola, pulls him up. They hands him the baby.
Yep. They go eye to eye and they have a conversation. He's got, of course, immaculate? No, that's not the word. Emasculate?
Emasculate, yeah.
The police force.
He's like, "I want you to tell me something, Mr. De Silva. Tell me I've brought the city to its knees, and the police are cowards." "Oh, well, he brought the city to its knees. The police are cowards." And he's like smiling. And he's like, "Mr. De Silva, we're not so different. I don't like to kill. It's my job.
Yeah.
I represent the oppressed victims of the world. I'm a liberator." And that fascinates you, doesn't it?
And, of course, he's freaking out. He doesn't know what to do with this. It's too much for him.
He's just no selling it. He's not giving the guy what he wants.
Right.
So he hands him the baby, And he hands him a note. He's like, you can drop that baby all you want, but if you drop this fucking note, you're in deep shit, mister.
See, I feel like with a lesser actor, that line is not in this movie. I feel like Rutger brought that line to this movie.
Probably, because he's a master of improvisation.
Exactly.
Remember, Deke, we're not heroes, we're victims. So Wolfgar calls in his demands. He's like, I want a jet plane, and I want a bus to take me to that jet plane. No police. And he rattles off a list of political prisoners from all over the world because he wants to get back in with all these terrorists.
Right.
And he's like, I want all of those guys released.
Right.
And oh, by the way, Deke, he's got to drive the bus.
Right. Deke's just getting thrown under the bus constantly.
So I thought this was kind of a dumb plan. I didn't even know how it worked.
Yeah, I hated this plan.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense.
Deke goes up to somebody like, hey, do you have that part where Peterson was talking about Shaka? Get it on my Walkman. Make sure I have a activator button on it.
I need a tape recorder, a speaker, a small activator button, and I need it taped to me.
So he tapes it to himself. Night falls. Wolfgar is listening to the news as Deke rolls up with the bus. He's enjoying it. He's like, they're talking about me. See, this is me.
That's right.
Hostages are all like lassoed together, like in a and Shaka and Wolfgar in the middle.
Yeah, so they couldn't run away and then allow the people to shoot. So because the snipers, of course, overlooking,
including Fox. He's got a sniper rifle.
That's right.
And the bus pulls up with fucking Deke.
Fox is so confident. He put one bullet into a sniper rifle.
All he needs. He has no problem shooting with hostages around.
He's like, all right, I'm going to line it up.
Deke gets off the bus. He gets frisked. Doesn't feel that tape recorder on him.
I know. Again, this is the weakest fucking part. They did not know how to finish the landing here.
Yeah. So as Wolfgar gets on the bus, Deke hits that button. We hear Peter Hartman. Peter Hartman was his name, and it's like he rattles off that phoniness of Shaka. He's like, she didn't even. She thought fucking TV Party was the best Black Flag album. There isn't one. And then
she's a classic punk, born of rich parents.
Wolfgar's like, you told me side B of My War was your favorite Black Flag album. Which, by the way, if you want to ever test anybody, if they're a try-hard punk person, go, what's your favorite Black Flag album? If they say side 2 of My War, phony as a fucking football bat. It's awful. The song My War is great. The side 2 is noise. It sucks. And I hate anyone who says that's their favorite Black Flag because they're lying. It's no one's favorite.
Interesting.
Damaged or the first 4 years is the correct answer to that. Okay. So if you want to test anybody, their credentials, I just told you how to do it.
All right.
So she's like, no, I do like side 2. And then all of a sudden, fucking Fox with that one bullet shoots her right in the head.
Right. And it was a clean shot. Like, it didn't explode her head like we see with the ballistics people on Mythbusters. It just went right through clean, and she just closed her eyes and said, I'm going to sleep now.
And to quote another great classic punk song, oh, hell breaks loose.
Thank you.
Because they go run, and the hostages go scattering. Fucking Wolfgar just starts the bus up and takes off.
That's right. But just like our buddy Stewart, he's like, I don't know how to drive this American busky. So he just...
Did you say busky?
Yeah, I did.
Is that like what Russians call a bus?
Yeah.
Buskies?
I learned that from Predator last week.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he's just rolling down the runway. Apparently it was downhill. Yeah. And he just... The bus just goes...
Where were they, Griff? They were under a bridge. His butt was so warm that he lost control, and Deke's shooting at him. The bus goes off into the East River.
He probably had the steering wheel, but he said, "What are these fuckers doing under here? I want to get my butthole warmed up."
Deke runs up there. There's no body floating up. He must be dead.
That's right.
All right, so now we go. The bodega has been busted where he's been hiding out.
Well, everybody convinces Deke that he's dead, and Deke's not convinced. Everyone's trying to convince Deke he's dead. And he's like, no, until I find the body, he's alive.
Deke is in the mind of fucking Wolfgar, so
exactly.
You know he's alive.
Exactly. He's like, give me that cable knit white turtleneck sweater. Or
he's actually wearing one right now. He's almost becoming... Wolfgar.
It's a little.
He actually
heavy.
said, "Call me Deekgar."
Yeah, he did. And
yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot, and I know people are getting confused by that. But again, think about this movie began with him as the old lady. I actually saw him pay for nickel candy with pennies. You know, that's what an old lady would do.
Oh, they'd pay for like dollar shit for pennies.
Yeah. I remember my grandma doing that to me all the time. Like, oh, you want a Faygo? That's our soda, everybody. That's
we got some juggalos listening, don't we?
I hope so.
I hope not, but
I hope so.
Yeah.
And then she would give me the 100 cents and pennies, and I would.
I remember when I was like, because you don't have money when you're 3 or 4.
Exactly.
That's how you pay for.
Couch
I remember I was.
cushions and shit.
I know the ice cream man was irritated. I paid with like pennies. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I paid like 75 cents or something with pennies.
Oh my God! There were
Yeah.
so many times the ice cream man would come by, and I would surf the couch cushions for change, and I'd be like, "Give me that boat." It's 25 cents, so it's not. It's like, come on, guy, really? You're gonna fucking freak out? You're the one doing this. Yeah, I'm
Part
sorry.
of the job, people.
Part of the job. We actually
Thank you for your service, ice cream man.
Oh yeah, saluting.
All right, so they're looking through all this paperwork at the bodega, and then he sees something. And he's-
It was Matt who sees something.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was Deke.
Oh, you know what? It was.
And he's like, oh, he just runs out. And like fucking Mustafa, or the fuck his name was, like, what's going
Munafa?
on here? Runs to a phone immediately. Calls. Who's he calling? Irene. But she ain't home.
The phone rings, but no one answers.
Cut to a city street. A little snow falling. Beautiful.
I know. I thought it was that Telly Savalas Christmas special.
Oh, how bright the stars. How
Bleak the night.
warm the buttholes. And so we see her, I find the whole idea of fur disgusting. I don't like
agree.
it, but there's something hot about a chick, like a naked chick wearing a full-length mink. It's pretty hot.
Think
I
so?
mean, it's a trashy 70s thing, but I like it.
You think so? Okay.
I mean, I don't like it enough that I would, I go,
Yeah.
fake fur. People.
Yeah. Do the fake fur.
Yeah.
I would have to see it in person. I don't think I've been exposed to it enough.
I haven't either, but it is like a fantasy.
I know. You've been kind of ingratiated from your youths, your wood porn days and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I haven't been.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of get it, but I don't.
Yeah.
The hot tub scene.
I can't explain why.
Yeah.
But I just does.
I want to say the hot tub scene from Austin Powers, that was the first thing that really like hit me in a weird way because I was like 12 when that movie came out.
Yeah.
And that chick with the big tits like scoots back and her tits like float up. You don't see nipples or anything, but that movie, I watched that scene so many times and yeah.
Little insight into the host. Oh yeah.
There's been a lot inside of us.
You people know way too much about us. We could never run for office now. Well, I guess now we could.
No, we absolutely could.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a benefit. How fucking depraved we are.
I know. The only thing I think we've been against that might come back to haunt us is this Bluey stuff.
Well, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't go for that. As Daryl Hall would.
I
say.
can't go for. I guess they just
No
broke
can
up.
do. So we see Irene in her full-length mink walking down. We see Wolfgar lurking in an alley watching.
Yeah.
Because he's got all the info on Deke, and he wants to hurt Deke now.
Yeah.
Where-
And that white turtleneck.
That's why I
sweater?
think they're married, because if it was a girlfriend, he probably wouldn't even know about her.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
So she goes in. He's looking through the window. He sees her. She's doing her dishes. She's got a robe on now.
Yep. Just immediately starts to crack in her lock and everything. I think he silently like breaks into,
Yeah, the
like
chain
breaks out
lock.
a window.
He breaks the chain lock.
Oh, he
doesn't break
broke
a
the
window.
chain lock. Good
He
call.
puts his hands into it and then yanks it out, which would
Right.
not unless you had a screw that was in like literally a millimeter. You're not doing that
Yeah, it'd be tough to do because
without making noise.
that was a solid wood ass door
Right.
too. Maybe the tea kettle was going. So
So he starts lurking, and she's just washing those dishes. He's lurking. Puts the phone off the hook.
Yeah,
Doesn't want to be interrupted.
because he sees that there's multiple entrances into the kitchen. And so he's going to take a wide entrance. And when he's doing the wide entrance, he realizes there's a phone nearby. So he's like, I don't want to be interrupted.
Right. And he's walking up on her, just got the knife out. He's ready to stab her.
We get that shot of his face, in the reflection of the pan, and it's all morphed and everything. It's got to be saying something there. And
Back
yeah,
to foreshadow. Spins around. It's our buddy Deacon drag right from the beginning. So the end.
there we go.
He's just wearing just a wig on his head.
Yeah.
Doesn't even match Lindsay Wagner's hair.
Nope.
Yanks it off. He's got his gun in a baggie because remember he's washing dishes. Doesn't want to get that
yeah.
wet. And then, but this is the thing that, like, he learned nothing from Hartman. Because if he learned from Hartman, he would immediately open fire. But he shows mercy.
He does.
He waits for Wolfgar to act.
Yeah.
And Wolfgar's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. Maybe I'll dodge the bullet."
Maybe.
So he goes for him. No, he gets shot repeatedly.
It doesn't work.
And we get the super
Bold
dramatic death scene. He stumbles through the door, and then I like the way this ended because he literally just falls on like the
Stoop?
Yeah, like the
Staircase.
stair rail.
Yeah.
And then Deke's kind of like fucked up about it. I think he got so deep in his mind, almost part of him died.
Yeah.
And he just sits on the stoop. Credits. We don't need anything. We don't need an epilogue where Mufano shows up. Hey, you did a good job there, Deke. And Matt gives him a high five.
This is what I love about movies. I like, me and Dave talk about this all the time because he's like, no, I like when a movie tells me what to think about something, I don't like these ambiguous things. Like, I just want a movie to tell me things.
Spoon-fed.
And I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, I love when
art is supposed to be ambiguous.
Yeah, I love when it kind of, you get a little bit of that interpretation when you actually have to talk about things and like, here's how I feel about it. Here's how you feel about it. I like that shit. I love that shit. That's why I watch so many stupid movies because usually it's because the people did such a bad job that it leaves it open to interpretation.
Going back to, we just talked about the beginning of the episode, cruising. Open ending. You're open to, it's like, is Al Pacino gay now?
Yeah.
Did he get turned gay by living in this world? Is he a serial killer now?
Or maybe he was just gay the whole time because that's how it happens, people.
Is he just, or is he straight?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's up to you to decide.
That movie's so much more impactful now just when you think about how we, suppress people who had, gay thoughts or anything like that. And we're like, no, you need to be converted because you're wrong. Everything's wrong about you.
Yeah.
I was like, no, fuck that. Just go fuck guys.
All right, enough of that thinking shit.
Okay,
Greg.
okay.
I
No
need
more
something dumb to cleanse our palate. And I can't think of anything dumber than this movie I found. It's on YouTube, by the way.
Are you about to tell me about Robert Ginty? Because that's a pretty dumb
No, because
motherfucker.
I said I don't want to be upset. I
yeah,
wanted to just turn my brain off for a week.
Okay.
I think we all earned this.
Or we're doing a kids movie.
Well, I guess depending on what your kids are. If you know me, you know the show. You know if you're gonna aspire to anything, if you're a true capitalist, you want to get rich.
Yes.
So you can have people fight to the death for your amusement.
Murray,
We've done it a million times.
This is your whole bag.
This is my dream.
Yeah.
And we must all dream, people. It's an underground fight ring. I believe it's an underground sword fighting ring, which I hope it is because that would be our second underground sword fighting ring. I don't remember. I think Ring of Steel was the one we did.
I believe it was Ring of Steel.
I remember Joe Don Baker was in it. I remember
American
that.
Samurai?
Well, yeah, that did, but that was like you could have whatever weapons you want.
Okay.
I think this
It wasn't... yeah.
All right. It's got the I say how Steve McQueen isn't a tough guy. Well, you know who is? His son, Chad McQueen. No, he's not really. A guy who could be tough if he didn't have such a weenie voice. Our old favorite, Gary Daniels.
Gary Daniels.
Hello there. I'm going to kill you.
I'm the voice of Bluey.
And if you are an old school wrestling fan, you will know this name. Warrior! The ultimate warrior from beyond Venus, from beyond Anus, Uranus. It is the warrior. You will learn about Destrucity next week, people. And until then, keep it warm.